Good evening, everyone. This is Melissa Thomas with Florida National News coming to you with the evening news rundown for your Friday, June 5th, 2020. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for your patience. Today was a special time today. There was a kind of a busy news day for us here at the evening news rundown. So we're going to jump right into it with our usual reports of COVID-19 cases and deaths globally here in the United States and in the state of Florida. So globally speaking, the World Health Organization is reporting over 6.5 million confirmed cases and over 387,000 confirmed deaths due to COVID-19. Here in the United States, we are at over 1.93 million confirmed cases and over 110,000 confirmed deaths. Here in the state of Florida, according to the Florida Department of Health, we are at over 61,000 confirmed cases and 2,660 confirmed deaths. Now, jumping into your world story, bit of an interesting update here globally. Now, France, they have a virus tracing app, and there are several European nations that have launched one. France launched theirs or made it available to the public as of this past Tuesday, and they're saying they're off to a pretty good start. So far, the app has been downloaded by 600,000 people there in the nation of France. So that's some good news. Those numbers were reported by France's digital minister. So the app was designed to prevent a second wave of infections using smartphone logs to warn users if they've been near someone who later tested positive. So very useful and helpful app for the citizens of France. So far, England is in the process of developing a similar app. So far, there is no launch date yet for theirs in terms of when it'll be available to the public. But nations such as Latvia and Italy, Switzerland, those three nations, they've already released their apps and they were developed by Google and Apple. So far, those nations are doing something similar. So we'll see when the UK releases theirs. All right, that is the world story for today. Your two US stories, we're going to start with a rather touching story out of Reno, Nevada. There was a World War II era flag that was actually returned to the city of Reno. The flag went missing during a protest earlier this week, and it was actually returned, sent anonymously in the mail to the reporter who covered the fact that it was missing. It was originally taken from City Hall. They found the glass broken, the flag was missing. The reporter reported on it. Her name is Kinsey. She was anonymously mailed a box back. So this is her holding the box, and in the box was a letter addressed to her saying, "Needed protecting. Looters were flag burning." And then, as you can see at the bottom, there's a bit of a misspelling, but at the bottom it does say "R.I.P. George Floyd." They intended to say George Floyd, but it said "Needed protecting. Looters were flag burning." So she, Kinsey, the reporter, was amazed when she received it because that was literally a 24-hour turnaround. That was very intriguing for her. She was able to turn it back over to Reno City Hall once she received it in the mail. It was an anonymous return, so congrats to the city of Reno. The flag was actually aboard the USS Reno during World War II, and it was donated to the city back in 1946. So a piece of history restored there. Congratulations on that one. Now, our second US story. Now, in Tennessee, a judge is ruling that the state must provide mail-in ballots in light of COVID-19 for the 2020 election. Now, you've heard this particular debate going on nationally, and President Trump is railing completely against all mail-in ballots. He says it's a bad idea. He says it's kind of a risk for fraud. That's his thesis. And here in Tennessee, one of the county judges has ruled that as a result of the virus, they're going to have to do the mail-in ballots. However, the state will likely push back because they've already said that given the time frame, they will likely not have their supplies ready for the 2020 election in order for all of their 4.1 million voters to be able to do mail-in ballots for the election. So there'll be more updates on this particular story. So watch this space for updates on that. In the meantime, here's the audience question. What are your thoughts on mail-in ballots or required mail-in ballots? Now, in this case, Tennessee is a state where the voters will still be able to do early voting in person. So it's not a complete mandate for all votes to be submitted by mail. Voters can do walk-in voting for the early voting. But give us your thoughts on mail-in ballots. Do you agree with the president? Do you not have a problem with it? Do you feel it's a better idea, given that the COVID-19 pandemic is not slowing down yet? In fact, as you saw there, we're starting to see some spikes in certain states as the country continues to reopen. Give us your thoughts below in a comment. We'd love to read it. We'd love to hear from you and share it with our viewing audience. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break. So if you want to leave your comment right now, we'll be glad to share it once we come back from this break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm not picking it up. You pick it up.
I'm not picking it up.
Well, somebody's got to pick it up.
I'll pick it up. They're clean. 'Cause my hand is clean. Oh yeah, I'm Charmin clean. That's how I know they're clean.
Charmin Ultra Strong is woven like a washcloth and just cleans better.
Yeah, I'm Charmin clean.
The kid does have a
That's
point.
My hand is clean.
Enjoy the go with Charmin. And for an extra clean finish, try Charmin Flushable Wipes.
All right, guys, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us at the Evening News Rundown. Now, jumping into your Florida story, as you heard me say right before the commercial break, cases are beginning to spike in certain places. And of course, one of the consequences with the spike, or one of the causes for cases to spike rather, is due to the increase in testing. And Florida is seeing something similar here, especially now in light of phase 2, which pretty much kicked off today officially. Right now, Florida is seeing over 1,400 new confirmed cases, which is a number we haven't seen here in the state of Florida since early March. So again, ladies and gentlemen, continue to be careful. Yes, go get tested. We know that the numbers will continue to rise as more people get tested because of the whole asymptomatic part of it. But do everything you can to also stay safe and be careful, particularly in light of protests that are still going on across the country, no matter where you are, not only here in Florida, but no matter where you're viewing this newscast from. Continue to be safe. Now, a bit of other news that has to do with COVID-19. Orange County property appraiser Rick Singh has officially tested positive for COVID-19. He was recently seen out and about with State Senator Randolph Bracy as he was doing a food distribution event last week. State Senator Linda Stewart has also opted to self-isolate. She mentioned that she was in recent contact with property appraiser Rick Singh. So she is also being cautious and self-isolating to double check her health as well. She will be in quarantine for 14 days. Property appraiser Rick Singh is in quarantine at the moment. So far, he is okay. Stay tuned for more updates. That's a developing story. All right. Jumping into a bit of business news, the company Lego has decided to actually pull some of its digital advertising that was promoting its White House and police sets. Now, they didn't stop the sales of these sets, but they went ahead and pulled the promotions that were running digitally. They had an affiliate program. So a lot of the vendors that were involved in the affiliate program, they sent out an email to those affiliates letting them know to pull the advertisements. Given what's going on with the protests, they wanted to be careful. Again, the kits are still available for sale. They chose, just in good taste, to pull the ads. And as an extra step, Lego has promised to donate, or has chosen to donate, $4 million to nonprofits that are aimed at teaching children racial equality. So in the mind of Lego, the company, they wanted to start very young in terms of creating the change that they want to see. Now, we're going to get into your sports and your entertainment news, but before we do, we're going to take one more quick commercial break. All right, so stay tuned. We will be right back. And remember, leave a comment below on your thoughts on mail-in ballots. We still love to have that conversation with you. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be right back.
All this time we fought side by side. We trained together. We lost together. And now, you're the only one standing in my way. It's been a while, old friend.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, as always, and thanks for sticking with us. Now, jumping into the sports story, the Jacksonville Jaguars decided to march in peaceful protest today. The march began from TIAA Bank Field with the players. They decided to go ahead and do a march today, and they teamed up. They were wearing black shirts that had the words Black Lives Matter on them. They had their signs, and they marched from TIAA Bank Field all the way to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office headquarters. Now, these players, they walked together. Players actually gave an address on the steps of the Sheriff's Office headquarters, which we're going to play a comment for you or words for you from wide receiver Chris Conley momentarily. Now, while they were on the steps of the Sheriff's Office, they also had a silent kneel salute, which was led by former Jacksonville Jaguar Ernest Wilford. Here's a little bit of the kneeling salute, along with a poignant quote from Jaguars owner Shad Khan. Basically, Jaguars owner Shad Khan recently released an op-ed earlier this week, actually, where he said, "Racism in all of its forms kill. It kills people, it kills communities, it kills dreams, and it kills hope." Here's wide receiver Chris Conley's remarks at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office headquarters.
I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to my Black brothers and sisters who are out here. I want to say thank you to my white brothers and sisters who are out here. I want to say thank you to every single child who is out here, younger person who is out here, because you're seeing an example of what the future can be. You're seeing an example of a future that's fighting for you. For you. Right now, I'm fighting for you. When I saw that video, I saw you. I saw you. I saw all you. This is only the beginning here in Jacksonville. Let's make sure that we maintain this momentum so it's not a movement, and this is a movement. Thank you.
Very touching tribute. It's not a moment, it's a movement. Very well said by wide receiver Chris Conley there. Now, speaking of protest and participation, we jump over to the entertainment story for the night. Kanye West actually chose to go home to participate in a protest in Chicago, and he has given $2 million to the families of the most recent victims of police brutality, namely the Ahmaud Arbery family, George Floyd's family, and the family of Breonna Taylor. Now, specifically for the George Floyd family, he actually, part of the proceeds of his $2 million is actually going to go to fully fund his daughter Gianna's college tuition, George Floyd's daughter Gianna's college tuition. The remainder of the funds will go to pay the legal fees that will be necessary in the cases of all three. So congrats to Kanye West for doing something positive, not just protesting, but also doing something positive to help the families as well. Now that does it here for us at the Evening News Rundown. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you as always for your patience as well. If you haven't already, be sure to like us on Facebook. You can find us there at Florida National News, at FNN News TV, or at FNN News Live. And be sure to subscribe on YouTube. If you haven't already over there, you'll find us at Florida National News there. And be sure to click the little bell icon so you receive all of our notifications. Now that does it for me tonight. You will see our lovely Casey Hudson a little bit later this evening for the FNN Sports Take. But as for me, I hope you guys have a great rest of the night and a great weekend. Take care.